My question is, what does the Quran say will happen to planet Earth at the end of the world, Day of Judgment?
End of the world?
Yes,
What would happen at the end of the world?
to planet Earth.
The end of the world.
No, I mean, will it's like,
At the end of the world, what would happen would be the end of the world. What else do you want to hear?
well, I just
It
thought,
will happen so suddenly that no one living would understand what is happening. If somebody is suddenly killed through a violent accident, people who watch him, they know what may have happened to him, but he will himself never know what had happened to him. Right? So when all of the human beings are suddenly killed and all the life on earth is suddenly brought to a halt, none would know what would happen, what had happened. So why are you interested in knowing that?
I'm just interested.
Huh?
I'm just interested.
Something
in
would
planet
happen. A violent earthquake maybe, a steroid striking the earth maybe, or some other such phenomenal happening which we cannot foresee but we can visualize anyway with relation to our past experience. You see, for instance, there was a time when there was the age of dinosaurs. The entire world was filled with dinosaurs. They ruled supreme over the earth. Then suddenly they were gone, completely finished. The age was wiped up and the period of dinosaur, the age of dinosaur was over and done with. Do you know what happened?
You said
The
that
scientists, first of all, were really confounded. They did not know the answer. But some later researches have led them to believe that a huge meteorite of colossal size struck the ocean, maybe Pacific Ocean or whatever the oceans were at that time. It hit the middle of the ocean, and the resultant rise in the debris thrown up, the dirt and the filth and the water and everything else and the fumes, they covered the whole earth from one end to the other. And they covered the whole earth from the sun rays, shielded the earth from the sun rays for a very, very long period, until the climate changed, until the vegetation underneath died, until the dinosaurs had nothing to eat, and they all gradually withered out and were ebbed out of life altogether. And some say this must have caused huge earthquakes, huge upheavals. The mountains may have toppled and the earth may have split from place to place. And this great earthquake and the splitting of earth might have swallowed or crushed or destroyed by the vibration of it, the phenomenon, all forms of life which were big enough to be hit by such volcanic forces. Small insects are not affected at all. Small sized life escapes such havocs. They are not much affected by earthquakes, you know. While humans die, while other animals during the earthquakes, the insects fly easily and perfectly as if nothing was happening around them. So a sort of life was destroyed and the remaining life was continued to remain. That is the suggestion put forward by scientists. So if from looking back at our past, we know that events of this magnitude have been able to wipe out a large form of life from Earth, in a very short period of time. If something much bigger than that happens, just one big strike on earth and everything will tumble down. Like the Holy Quran sometimes presents the image of the mountains flying by and everything, gone mad in a disorderly frenzy. That indicates a huge accident. But after things will settle down, life will take root again. New forms of life would appear afterwards.